to the Motocross Supercross podcast.
What is up? This is the Motocross Supercross podcast, episode 124. So much to talk about. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
What up? What up?
Crazy weekend, bro. A brawl breaks out at UFC 229. My Steelers finally win, kind of a good game, probably save their season.
A legit game.
A legit game. Yeah, they actually beat someone. Well, that's debatable, too, with their injuries and stuff. But, Justin Brayton, he wins again, round 2 in Australian Supercross.
That's right. Defending champ. He's definitely showing up. Why?
That's right. We got a hurricane forming, approaching Florida, about to hit.
Michael. Yep,
Mr. Michael. No, I think it is Michael, isn't it? And then, but more importantly, Motocross of Nations is finished. It's in the books. Red Bud happened. And, man, it was a busy weekend, man. A lot of stuff went down.
A lot of stuff went down, and a lot of water went down. There was chaos in the track and the parking lot and all the surroundings of the Red Bud. And you told me about it.
Yeah, that's right. Just getting out of there was insane. Obviously, if you watch the broadcast on TV, you could see all the water on the sides of the track and you could see it raining, but it was absolutely a mud fest, that's for sure. Real sloppy, and yeah, getting those cars out was a challenge. They ended up just leaving 1,000 cars, just oh, sorry, we'll get you later. You're on your own now.
Yeah,
so
we'll
good thing I made
it
out before that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, for sure. Yeah, for the Sunday race, they were doing parking lot and a fairground, I want to say, or something like that, and they have they
were parking people at the fairgrounds 10 it was almost 10 miles away. They're just school busing people over. It was pretty insane. The line's so long.
Making it happen with the people getting to these races and supporting their country.
Yeah, the funniest thing I saw was they had a bulldozer with basically a big pillow on the front, and they were just pushing cars with it. Just hey, that's sketchy. Yeah, a bunch of rental cars out there. I'm sure you saw the video of Ryan Villapoto pulling up to the hotel. The car is just covered in mud. They open the door, and Ryan Villapoto's driving it. So funny. That was everybody's car out there, but his looked a little excessive. His definitely had some extra mud on it, that's for sure. It was hilarious. Dude, he's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time out there. Ryan Villapoto, not just spectating this week, he was representing.
That's right. He was Team USA, but for something that he's won actually 5 times.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, Ryan Villapoto with the Pit Bike of Nations Championship. Yeah, definitely a good time.
He was on a TTR. Was it a 125? TTR 125, or was it smaller?
I want to say it was a TTR 125.
Dude, my neighbors used to have one of those, and we used to rip that thing hardcore. So much fun. But yeah, so hey, at least we got one win out of it,
Yes, because we were going to get into it, but our guys, USA, did not look good, man. They did not represent the country as it was supposed to, as everybody was expecting anyways. They definitely got dominated by these Europeans, and those guys look really good in the mud, man. There was no stopping them at all. There was no scare of it. They were going fast.
Yeah, that's definitely the popular opinion, is that the USA totally sucked. But I don't know. I kind of have a different opinion because Plessinger, he passed people and he was out front before he crashed.
He was leading the practice of qualifying, and he went down. For some reason, I knew Plessinger was going to be good, but I guess the pressure got to him and did not let him ride to his best ability, I guess. Jorge Prado, though, who just became the MX2 champ of the world.
Yeah, 17 years old.
He looked really good. 17-year-old.
Yeah, he looked super fast, and he's going to be a superstar for sure.
For sure, man. For sure. He led over the 450s for a while, and he looked really, really, really good for sure.
Exactly. I think everybody was like, oh, let's see. He's on that 250. Everyone else is on the 450. He's going to fade. And it just never happened. He was just dominating.
Yeah. Then in practices, like we said, Jorge Prado was really good. Ferrandis ended up getting, on the practice results, he was the fastest.
Yeah.
Prado was in 5th place. Like we said, Plessinger ended up getting 9th right there. So there was some interesting things to look at for sure.
Yeah, and to talk about Eli, in the motocross season we just finished up, the Lucas Oil Pro motocross season, We're just so used to seeing Eli, get a bad start and then just come back and just whoop everybody. And it's just like, we like watching that. It's just like, that's how we get to see it. But, when you're up against the best in the world, it's not as easy to pass everyone when you get a bad start. And that's all he did was get bad starts.
And it's not even about, because we got the number 2 pick for the qualifying round, and it wasn't even like a bad pick. It was just not.
Just couldn't get those starts. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't
Same with Barsha,
get it
too.
together. Redbud was again another failure for Eli Tomac. He had a couple problems in the qualifying or the practice rounds. So with the bike again, so definitely cursed out of that track for sure.
Yeah, if you'll remember back to the Pro Motocross series, he gave up like a 30-point lead at Redbud.
Exactly. So definitely not his favorite track. And I know Jeffrey Hurlings, which he did what we're used to see Eli Tomac do in all of his races. Just get a bad start and just go through the field like there's nothing there. And
dude, Jeffrey Hurlings, man, he's a little bit of a trash talker, I'd say.
He has to, man. He can back it up though. He came over here a couple of years ago and he dominated our guys. He came here for the Motocross of Nations and dominated everyone. So Team Netherlands definitely looked strong coming into this Motocross of Nations that happened this year. If it wasn't for a little bit of bad luck that they ran into along the way, they could have definitely taken that, spoiler alert, 5P that France has.
Yeah, and it seemed like they just wanted to beat the Americans. That was their biggest goal. Sure. All they wanted to do is just beat us. And yeah, here's what Hurling said on his Instagram. Fastest man on the planet, some fire emojis. After beating the top AMA riders last weekend in both motos and going 1-1 in the MXGP class at the Motocross of Nations against the current AMA national champ, and winning 17 of the 19 MXGP races I've raced, standing on the podium 19 of the 19 times this season, being crowned the 2018 MXGP World Champion, winning the Dutch national title with even going undefeated. I think I am able to say I was the fastest outdoor racer on the planet in 2018. Of course, I did not win all motos I participated at, but I am only human as well. But I have won 62 motos out of the 77 motos where I participated at this season. Everything will start all over again next year. Thank you, 2018, blah, 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 blah. Let's go eat some hamburgers, drink some beer. Thanks to the fans. But yeah, I mean,
that's a great record.
Yeah, that's a good year. That's a good year right there. So, I mean, They can't be too bummed that they lost the Hurlings, but I know they didn't do as well as everyone wanted them to do, especially on the home soil,
Definitely. That's my point. There was a lot of hype for this team. There was, I'm not going to lie, everybody came ready to party for sure. And it showed, man. Jeffrey Hurlings he's an animal. He didn't win both of the motos in the Motocross of Nations because he got second in the other one. So, but Netherlands definitely favorite to take the title this year. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for them. But let's move on to the MXGP class. The man that we're talking about, Hurlings, he was first in the practice, followed by Antonio Carioli. That's how they finished actually in the MXGP tour. Roxon was in fourth.
Yeah, Carioli, man, he got the whole shot that one race, and he just looked super good.
Yes, he was on the MXGP and Open class on the third race. He took his goggles right in the middle of it. We'll get to it, but right in the middle of it, and I could tell that was a bad decision. He immediately regretted it, but he did really, really good. Eli Tomac in 10th.
The conditions on TV were the track looked almost kind of nice, but it wasn't at all. You could definitely tell there's a lot of people ditching their goggles, and it was just pretty sloppy. Got pretty deep in some of those corners.
Definitely. And then on the open class and practice, we have Barsha right there in fourth place. He was actually one of the best of the three Americans, so good for him. But yeah, Barsha, he got a fourth in the practice. Glenn Koldenoff, who had a perfect weekend, he was second.
Yeah.
He's also from the Netherlands. He's Jeffrey Hurling's teammate. I guess this guy was running the open class. Tyler Medaglia in 12th place. Lorenzo Locurzio, he was in 18th place. He ran into a little bit of problems too.
He was riding without his goggles as well.
Yeah. Jordi Tixier, who is the guy that subbed in for the French team, he was running 7th. Yeah, he was riding like a borrowed KTM, which I thought it was kind of funny because, he came from nothing to representing his country. But yeah, so early on Sunday, everyone was like, yeah, Motocross of Nations is happening today, rain or shine. So just be ready. And that's when KS started. So
that's right. Everyone was we were kind of like cocky too going into this race. The U.S. was in general.
Yeah.
I don't know if they underestimated the competition or just thought they were just going to smoke them, but they were in for a little surprise there. And especially, we didn't mention Team Puerto Rico yet, but we must. It was cool to see them out there. Pastrana doing like heel clickers and stuff and opening laps and doing backflips and crashing.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to him there. Like, he's done like so many backflips, and it's just
so
he
wet.
just I think his knee was just too messed up. He couldn't hold on tight enough, and like the rotation was fine. He just couldn't squeeze with his legs and just flew off. But that was pretty funny.
So muddy, so muddy that he couldn't grab onto it, and then whenever he landed, it probably just slipped right off his underneath.
Yeah, and he didn't jump that tabletop either. He's just hit it like he would like a log. One of those fast flips.
Yeah, Team Puerto Rico, who coming out Saturday wasn't in the final race.
That's right.
And they ended up winning the B final, as they call it, which is, earlier that on Sunday, they ended up winning that to qualify for the main event on Sunday afternoon with the big dogs. There was a really funny comment from Wyndham that, he was like, oh, awesome, we qualify for the final, so we're going to be, he's like, we're going to be riding the most laps on Sundays, and we're the less in shape out here.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they were definitely. Wyndham looked a little, I don't want to say hefty, but he looked like a guy who's been, who literally came off the couch to race.
He did. He there was no denying there. He literally decided to do this a month ago, so I don't think there was enough time for him to get ready for this.
Yeah, he was popular out there though. The whole Puerto Rico team was super popular out there, so everyone was happy to see that. And Travis did ride the 2-stroke, which was debatable at times because he kind of, the last minute, put up the little 2-stroke versus 4-stroke picture. But yeah, so it was cool. I'm happy it happened, and Sipes kind of saved everyone right there at the end.
I know. He came up and stepped up to the plate. I like it.
Yeah, on Saturday, Kevin Wyndham had like a little crash, and if you go to our Instagram page at MXSX Podcast, you can see kind of him picking his bike up in one of the videos we're going to be posting soon. So I just had to throw it in there. I didn't want to, but
it will be on by the time you guys listen to this. So just go check it out.
And like you were about to say, these next races were just green flag race. As soon as that gate dropped, they were just going for it. And we saw some awesome racing.
Definitely.
And some domination too with this France team.
I don't even know if it was dominance because it came down to that last race. Coming out of that second race, it was Australia and Canada on top of the points, and everybody was just wow, what's going to happen? Is France not going to be able to win it? For the 5th time in a row? Yeah, they definitely did not need Mooskin to pull it off though.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was great. But I like the format of these races, the MXGP2 and the MX2, which is a 450 and the 250 class. They ride together for 30 minutes and then combine whatever your position, that's how many points you get. Obviously you combine both of your scores, your 250 and your 450 rider. In this case, it's the 450, not the open, because there's an MXGP, MX2 and open. Usually open and MXGP are the 450 class, and MX2 is the 250 class, what we call it here.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it on TV, you got to watch it. I don't know if it's are you able to play it back on Hulu, or was it just live on Hulu? I think you should.
I have not been able to go back to it, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. If you guys haven't watched it. We were going to go over it, all the races and what happened in each moto, on our next podcast.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about these races later, but there are a couple other news stories that we can talk about just to kind of update everybody on what's happening. Justin Barcia, after this whole Motocross of Nations results, and he said he is not going to race in Australia Supercross in Sydney November 10th. So I thought that was a little curious. His reason was, I won't be able to make it as I was really looking forward to, but a pressing issue has come up, which will keep me from attending. I don't know if he got hurt or if, yes, it looks like a pressing issue came up. So, and that's November 10th, man. That's like, seems he's definitely
a month away.
Yeah, that's a pretty early pull out of that, So it looks like something's definitely happening there.
Well, we'll see. We'll see him at the Monster Energy Supercross or Monster Energy Monster Cup.
That's right, this weekend, which we'll definitely be previewing too on another show. But we also got Jeremy Martin. He saw the doctor, and he's got the green light to start riding his road bike on his trainer. So, good to see him making some more progress as well.
Very
and kind of
cool.
going the other way, we saw Justin Heft with that IB Corp team last year. Obviously struggled with injuries, and then he came back and looked like he was going to be fast and got injured again, but he broke his back and his jaw.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so sucks for him. Speedy recovery. I hate it when people get hurt, at all, but also right before these seasons starts and these big races start. Sucks for him. A lot of bad injury luck for him. And yeah, like we said, we got Monster Energy Cup this weekend. We got Red Bull Straight Rhythm next weekend.
Yep.
Also, the X Games are in Sydney next weekend too. So something to look forward to there. Like we said, Justin Brayton won last weekend and another Australian Supercross this weekend, but it looks like Brayton is going to be dominating over there. So another thing to keep an eye on going into this 2019 Supercross season. But is there anything else you want to add to this one?
No, we got it.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.